There's been a big change in tune on the Hunter Biden laptop story. Remember how the media dismissed it?
Hunter Biden, this laptop that intelligence officials have warned is likely Russian disinformation.
I get pretty fired up about how this works because, look, I mean, if the New York Post tells you your mom loves you, you should check it out. We are not talking about fully reliable sources here.
It feels like a repeat from last cycle. It's the, but her emails again, and it's kind of ridiculous.
Featuring all the usual suspects. Hunter Biden, mysterious emails, Ukrainian businessmen, ...
But now, more than a year later, it turns out the laptop and at least some of its contents are in fact real. The New York Times confirming their authenticity in a report that focused on the investigation into Hunter's taxes and international business dealings. The key line coming deep into the story, of course. The Times writing, quote, emails were obtained by the New York Times from a cache of files that appears to have come from a laptop abandoned by Mr. Biden in a Delaware repair shop. Plot twist! The White House is now ducking questions about its past denials.
The New York Times has authenticated emails that appear to have come from a laptop abandoned by Hunter Biden in Delaware. The president previously said that the New York Post story about this was a bunch of garbage and that it was a Russian plant. Does he stand by that assessment?
I've pointed the Department of Justice and also to Hunter Biden's representatives. He doesn't work in the government. Again, I pointed the Department of Justice and Hunter Biden's representatives. I'm a spokesperson for the United States. He doesn't work for the United States.
Tommy Lahren, the only thing I'm feeling more than satisfaction is frustration that shouldn't this have happened a year ago, and will there still be any accountability? I don't know. I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath, Emily. You'd be holding it for a very long time. But you know what, Americans, if you are not infuriated by this, you must not be paying attention. Again, it's the mainstream media and their ability to coddle those with whom they agree, those that have D's behind their names, that is so infuriating here. Listen, I don't know this for a fact, but it would seem to me that perhaps maybe the New York Times and other media outlets knew that there was some truth to this story, but maybe they just wanted to get Hunter, or they wanted to get Joe Biden in the White House, and they knew that Hunter Biden was a huge liability to that. So in the 2020 election leading up to that, they kind of just covered this. They had to shirk it off. They had to laugh it off. And now they're coming forward because they no longer have the great desire to shield Joe Biden. Now they're coming out and saying, oh, maybe there's some truth to that. The way that the media has driven this narrative should be infuriating to so many Americans. Could it have changed the 2020 election? Will we be sitting here talking about the Russian invasion of Ukraine, talking about inflation and gas prices if we had a President Trump? All of this we have to, of course, look back on it and wonder, but it's infuriating, and the media needs to be held accountable here, as well as Joe and Hunter Biden.
That's right, Joe. There was a cancellation by the media of the media that we now know was based on complete mistruth. And at the time, remember, even the President of the United States and the White House press secretary maintained it was Russian disinformation. Let's remind our viewers, just in case they forgot.
It's broadly known and widely known, Peter, that there was a broad range of Russian disinformation back in 2020.
You still think that the stories from the fall about your son Hunter were Russian disinformation and a smear campaign, like you said?
Yes, yes, yes. God love you, man. You're a one-horse pony.
Joe Concha.
Oh, boy. Well, we heard a lot about collusion, right, during the Trump era. But the real collusion happened between broadcast, print, and social media all working together to either squash or, the only word that comes to mind, piously dismiss the Hunter Biden laptop story. I'm going to give you the gold star here in terms of dismissals and piousness. NPR, their managing editor, said this, quote, we don't want to waste our time on stories that are not really stories, and we don't want to waste the listeners' and readers' time on stories that are just pure distractions. And quite frankly, that's where we ended up. This was a politically driven event, and we decided to treat it that way. Boy, that aged well, didn't it? And by the way, there were 50 former intelligence officers that signed off on a letter saying this was Russian disinformation, including John Brennan, who's now with MSNBC, and John Clapper, who is now with CNN. And if you read that letter, as I did this morning, they admit that they had no evidence that the Russians were involved, but they just had a bad feeling in the pit of their stomach and decided to throw it out there anyway. What an absolute joke, guys.
That's right. We have a full screen of those gentlemen that you just referenced, the U.S. intel officials, just to round out the trifecta of media, the executive branch, and then these guys. And I find it interesting, Lauren, Joe Concha's point that, when the media says that NPR, quote, the Gold Star, as he said, that they said it was a distraction, but a distraction from what? From pushing the narrative of the White House? Exactly.
They want to get Biden into office, and now that he is, why did this story come out? It was 17 months later. Are they trying to disqualify him for a potential 2024 run so they can get another Democratic country in because they're looking at the state of the country and the unpopularity ratings? Yeah. I just pose that as an open question.
Yeah, that's right.
I have a different question. How thick are the thieves of truth? Because I remember another media outlet, and let's go ahead and throw them in as a media outlet and not some just outlier of social platform, Twitter. Because remember, they want to put their thumb on the scale about what is factual and what is information and what is disinformation and what is trending, disqualification, all of that. So I guess they think they're journalists. So let's just do the mind experiment for just a second and pretend like they're journalists. So how thick are the thieves of truth? Because if you even tweeted, retweeted, talked about tweeting the New York Post true and real story about Hunter Biden, his ties with energy, right? Oil companies, and the millions, potentially billions of dollars that were wrapped up in deals with him sitting on energy boards with no prior work experience to do so. In an admission on 60 Minutes, he said, I use my dad's name. So we know the tying together. And why do we care about all of this? If you're a journalist, you know the answer. It's nonpartisan. It is because when an American president has a conduit for bribery or vulnerability, like a son on drugs who'll do pretty much anything, Hunter Biden, and get caught doing it, that vulnerability exposes all of us as citizens. We care. We want our president not only to be successful, but to be nationally secured.
Yeah. Is he compromised?
Yeah.
Is he compromised? That's the whole issue of the story. And if what you say is true, that there was some political, or I guess it's being talked about everywhere, that, well, was this about politics because the media wanted their own candidate in there? They liked the guy, or they hated the last guy. Clearly, they hated Trump. That's just not the American way.
Yeah.
And we're the ones who are left to count on that, right? We are the real journalists. We have to be responsible in how we report on this.
Yeah.
And to give everything a look. National Public Radio. National Public Radio. What are they being distracted from if it's not the truth?
I mean, that's right. So, you guys, the president's son is being currently criminally investigated for improper lobbying, money laundering, and tax evasion. And yet the existence of the Hulk Hogan sex tape was ruled by a court to be newsworthy. And that investigation isn't. Like, we are being told by the mainstream media that it's not newsworthy, that this is a distraction from whatever they're putting forth. And it's being piled on by intel officers, by the president of the United States, and by the White House press secretary.
And censored by big tech.
Exactly. And then censored by big tech. It's absolutely ridiculous. But to your point, the bottom line is it's the American citizenry that would be that is impacted negatively. It's not just that we're watching with popcorn as someone's demise unfolds. It's that it actually affects us because we pay their salaries.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.